Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another week of SFR. This week, for the GP4, we land in France. And once again this week, I've got my co-coms back with me. Not that guy Sven, or that guy Sven, whichever way you want to go. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing fine, how are you?
Good, good. How's the head from the exams?
I should be smarter, but I feel dumber. So let's
As
see if I can get things right in this commentary session.
Yeah, as we say in England, your head is a bit battered.
Yeah, it's like muscles. You break them down to
make them stronger.
Make them stronger.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get through tonight. Don't worry. We'll have a go anyway. So we'll just quickly run through the championship standings. Then we'll give some thoughts. It looks like most of the drivers are already in the lobby and ready to go. So if we go over to the GP4 championship, currently leading the way, however it's getting closer, is Broomy, and that's because in second place, just 11 points behind, we've got Senna Martins, who has won the last 3 races in a row. Do you think he's going to get number 4 tonight, Sven?
It's a hard one. I actually don't think he will. I think DCG and Broomy both look really good.
Two people that don't show up, do they? Yeah, they don't really show up in the practice session, so you can never gauge where they're at until qualifying in the race.
DCG has been good in the last couple of races, so I think he's going to be up there somewhere. Maggi actually looked really good today. So.
Yeah, there's a few people with some very good pace. So if we carry on with the championship, we've got Luke in third. We've then got X-Gamer in fourth, who's had a bit of a bad run in the last few races. He didn't start in Spain, only scored 8 points in Monaco and 1 in Canada. The aforementioned DCG, last 3 races, haven't dropped back down to GP4. Current GP4 champion is showing the form. He's finished second in Spain. He got 10 points in Monaco and second in Canada with the fastest lap of the race. We've then got Romsey in 6th, who'll be looking to add to his 1 win this season. Mad G will be looking to get a good chunk of points here with showing some good pace in the practice session, although he is having a bit of a midfield battle with Psychomich and Shadow Britain. We then go down to Pro Oliver in 10th, Xander 11th, Cod Oliver 12th. He has actually left GP4, so he won't be featuring in any more of the races. Topics is back, and he's looking quick as well. He's done his work away, he's done his service for a bit, so he'll be looking to come back and score some heavy points. James Hook in 14th. We've got SFR Racing Podge in 15th. We've got SFR Sonic Hawk in 16th, ISRL Tommy in 17th. Gisolodian, who can't make it tonight due to his PlayStation being in the shop getting fixed, is in 18th. Energy Dan will be looking to score some points for the season. And then we've got Need for Speed in 20th. Did you manage to get the constructors up?
Yeah, I have it here.
Yeah, if you want to run through.
So first place we have McLaren, the orange car with Broomy and Psychomich. They're doing good actually. And 7 points behind, it's a tight one. There we have Renault. And in third we have Haas, Alfa Romeo in 4th. And then we have Shadow Britain and James Hook in the Williams in 5th. They're doing better and better every race, I feel. The Red Bull in 6th and Ferrari in 7th. Mercedes in 8th. Toro Rosso in 9th. And then we have Racing Point in 10th. I think this is the only constructor Ferrari beats Mercedes, so that feels good.
Yeah, good. So we'll head over to the chat. We've got a couple of people in already. Hello to Manzo, GP2, and hello to my teammate, Hunter. So hopefully some more people will be joining us in the chat. We should be readying up any minute now, as it's almost past. So we'll go on to France. Obviously, you've not really had a lot of time on the track so far, Sven, but what are your thoughts? We did a race just before this. How are you feeling about it? What do you think of it as a track?
Yeah, I've been... my setup is really poor and I can't get a grip of the track, but it's a fun track. I came second last year in GP3, I think, so I know I have the pace. I just need to get a handle of the car and do some practice sessions. I haven't been driving properly for 2 weeks now, so
yeah,
I'm ready to get back at it.
I can imagine. I don't know how I'd manage with 2 weeks off. So Manzo in the chat has predicted a Senna P1 Topics P2, Broomy P3 with Shadow in P4. If we can get some more predictions in, that would be great. Obviously, with
What are your predictions?
Let's put a cat amongst the pigeons. I'm gonna say Senna and Mad G look very close on pace here. Could we see a coming together? Could we see a Daniel Ricciardo, Max Verstappen at Baku?
Yeah,
is it,
absolutely.
you know?
I mean, the hard breaking point at the first DRS zone, it's a hard one actually, because you can overtake there, but if you don't get past properly, it can be hard to go side by side in there.
Yeah, it's definitely, there's a lot of tough corners on here where it kind of sucks you into thinking that you can make the move, but then all of a sudden you see the gap closing and closing very, very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Maggi will do really good tonight if he just keeps his front wing full. I know he had some struggle with small accidents. He never crashes out, but he has these small mistakes. Oh, it's raining.
Wow, is it raining?
Wow,
okay,
this is wet. So this is wet.
We've got a wet qualifying, so this again is going to really mix things up. So I'm just waiting to get the weather report in for the race.
This was me with 2 sweaters on at the practice earlier.
It's actually, for me, it's not a bad track in the wet, but then I think that I do favour the wet racing, not so much over the dry, but I'm not one of them that when it loads up and it's a wet race, I think to myself, oh, here we go, this is going to be difficult.
Yeah, definitely. I know at the practice earlier we had a wet qualifying, and I did good. The only problem I had was the fast right-hander. I couldn't get the grip in and kept spinning out.
Yeah, okay, so we've got dry race. So wet quali, as you can all see, to be followed by a dry race. So this will be interesting for setups, because what do? You want a good qualifying position. Do you risk your setup for the race?
Do we know if it's a dry race?
Yep, I've just had confirmation from one of the drivers. So.
Okay, yeah. So if it's a dry race, I mean, I would sacrifice a couple of positions in the start for a dry setup. So I would probably do a safe lap to get a lap in, and then try to push with the dry setup, maybe upper the front wing a bit. If you want to, you can higher your car a bit. You will lose out in the straights in the dry, but you might gain a couple of positions without losing that much.
It's a very fast track. So the lower wing, I think, is favoured here. It's also a very difficult track to manage your ERS at as well. Within one lap, you can chew through 60-70% of your ERS, and then actually charging it back up is quite difficult as well. I find sector 1, going through the windy bends just before the long straight, is a good place to drop it down to 0 if you're going to. And the third sector as well is not so bad, because another difficult place to overtake if you're ahead going into the fast sweeping right at the back of the circuit. Really, unless you make a mistake, no one should be getting past you before the start-finish straight, which is when obviously you can bump your ERS back up.
Yeah, I think I probably, in the race pace, I drop it down to 0 in almost every corner, I think.
Yeah, so a quick hello in the chat. We've got Billy O'Connor and Cadwell in the chat, our Prem commentator Cadwell. I hope you guys are doing well. So we've also got Mr. First One Out. No, he stepped down from GP4. Okay. He is focusing on comms, I believe. So we've got, obviously, First One Out in quali was the first one out in quali, so he's now starting a hot lap, and we'll see how he gets on.
I think the rain is like the setup is really messy, because you can get your front wing up, but if you hire rear, it doesn't help you that much. It's better to race your car a bit, in my opinion, but I'm not that good in rain as a driver, so anyone who's watching who wants a pro tip, don't listen to me.
Hey, Ekelund.
I only look what the Prem guys do and stuff between the setups, so try to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a few setups of the Prem guys that I've pinched and tried out on time trials, and found myself going a bit quicker as well.
Yeah,
or that
absolutely.
you may just need to adapt your driving style as well.
Yeah, either do that, get your own setup, or find someone who has a setup that fits you.
Yeah, and then tweak it a little
style.
bit as well. You may want to change the tyre pressures, you may want to change the wings. I know I've taken setups before that are running 4.7 wings, and on a faster track I've dropped it down to 3.5, and I found myself going quicker. And it all depends. Everyone's driving style can be very different to the next. So one setup where it may work perfectly for one could be completely different for another.
Yeah, we have a pole position at the moment.
So Shadow's just gone across the line with a 149.8 as we look at Harry. Need for Speed goes across the line with a 153.9, so a bit of a scruffy lap there. You'll see from the blue band around the tyres that the guys are on the full wet tyres, and for those of you that play Formula 1 will always know that Jeff will tell you that they displace 65 litres of water a second. So the two Renaults go 1 and 2.
Oh, that's a good lap.
47.3. Topic splits the Renaults there with a 47.6, and Zander splits them even further.
It's a lot of guys there now.
Yeah, so we've got DCG across the line, so the Renaults are getting split further and further as the cars squeeze in. Broomy, our championship leader, comes in with 6, but that gets knocked back by Romsey.
Sander in P3, that's good.
Yeah, that's a
DCG
great lap.
in P4.
Great lap there. So we've got some people that may have bailed out on their hot laps on the wet. I always find, I think we had this conversation when it was raining before, was to go out with maybe a few laps of fuel in at the start and just sort of do a few laps at race pace just to find your braking points. Then maybe come in, stick a fresh set on, lower the fuel and go for one right at the end.
Yeah. So
Peldaragas, our new driver to GP4, so he's full time now in the Mercedes, taking Cod Oliver's place. He puts himself in P10, and the Mercedes will be looking to start getting some points, I would guess. If you go from the team that has won 6 consecutive championships in the real Formula 1 to the team that are really struggling for points in SFR's GP4 league.
Yeah, just look at the Ferrari where I'm driving in GP2. We're starting to bunch up some points now, but we had a rough start.
Yeah, rough start. So we've got GA in the chat as well. Evening, GA. Hope you're doing well. Guys in the chat, if you want to get some predictions in for pole position and then also the race, that would be great. So as we watch the guys coming around, we've got Topics who has invalidated his lap. Zander comes into the pits. DCG is invalidated. Mad G.
The has invalidated.
Mad G's.
We have Tom. No, he's what? I thought he was going out in the Inters.
So we've got Shadow coming down the long DRS straight. Obviously the guys won't have DRS this qualifying session with it being wet. Can't think of anything worse than arriving at them two corners at 210 miles an hour in the wet.
I think Maggi is going for it again.
Okay. This way. So as we want Maggi, he comes through the very difficult right-left at the end of the DRS straight.
Do you have any problems with spectating Broomy? Because every time I swap next to him...
Yep, I did just find that as well.
My game is lagging out.
And I've just put the lap data up, especially for my teammate, because he normally reminds me by this point.
Yeah, now we have a question. Some people are putting on the Inters in the pits. Is it mind games, or do they actually want to go out in the Inters?
Oh, Topics has crashed out of the session. He did mention that he was having some internet connection issues. So fingers crossed they resolve themselves.
Now I can look at Broomy.
Yeah, I think there may have been an issue with him going into the pits, that it just crashed out. But we've got Broomy and DCG coming out of the pits on the Inters, so it'll be interesting to see what these guys can do. They've probably checked the Delta to see if it is the faster tyre.
Yeah, absolutely.
We still have 9 minutes left, and I've found with a couple of wet sessions that I've done here that the track can dry up. Oh, as DCG slides it into there.
Yeah, Broomy looks smoother.
Yeah, I found that the track does dry up very quickly. So yeah, it could be that they've made the right choice. But the guys are going to have plenty of time who are in the pits or who even are out on the track to come in and fit a set of inters if they see it acceptable.
Yeah, I see some people are following their advice now. Sander has them on.
Yeah,
Sonic
we've got Need for Speed as well. Mad G's just put the inters on as well. Oh, we've got a spinner.
Sector 1, end
X
of
Gamer. Just had a little off there. So still adjusting to the wet. So we'll stick with DCG because he's going to be our first flying lap on the intermediates.
Yeah, the current GP4 champion. What do you call it? Oh, we have a Ferrari spinning.
Ooh. So I've just gone on board to get a real listen to the engine noise there. And DCG's wheel spin very, very heavy. And from the onboard as well, you can really see how wet the track still is as well. So Topics is back in the session. Senna has now switched to the intermediates as well.
One thing you can do to reduce the wheel spin is to shift up earlier. Not go for the 12,000 number, you shift up at maybe 1150 or something.
Yeah, so let's keep an eye on DCG as Shadow comes out of... I think that was Shadow, or was that James Hook? No, that was definitely Shadow.
Shadow. Hopefully he moves to the side.
Moves out of the way.
Not yet.
Okay, this is a point where he needs to be really getting out of DCG's way because he's now holding him up. Oh, come on.
Shadow, move.
Oh, no, that's really poor.
DCG had a purple first sector as well.
Yeah, he's going to have lost a few temps. And what's happened there as well is that's going to have compromised his speed down the entire straight as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now this track, we've obviously put out some rules and laws as the admins have, because obviously there is a great opportunity around here to run through this track, cut chicanes and get back to the pits really quick. Anyone seen doing that will be receiving sufficient penalties.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
a flat tire maybe, but
yeah,
if your car is intact,
yeah,
and
if you're in severe damage and you know you've got a bunch of cars coming behind you, you want to stay out of the way. But what people need to do, I believe, in qualifying is really take advantage of the fact that the runoff here is massive and stay out of the way of people on hot laps as well, because that was a bit poor.
It's a wide track; it's not hard to move
to
the side.
No, and you know we've all done enough races.
What can we expect here? 145, or is it?
We'll have a look and see as he comes across the line. It's a 145.1.
Good guess.
Wow, so it's 2.2 seconds faster on the intermediates. So they seem to work really well on a wet track around here.
Almost up there with him.
Yeah.
And imagine if that would be a maybe sub 45 if it wasn't for the first part of the second sector there.
Yeah. So we've got Senna on a hot lap. Mad G has invalidated his lap. Topics' internet has crashed him out yet again. So as we're on board with the...
We had the Need for Speed is the next guy to cross the line. He's up 3 seconds on his time.
Wow, so he's going to be coming in at a 148.
Yeah, but it's still
possibly more. Still the last sector to go.
He's sliding quite hard here. I think he must be doing quite a dry setup, I think.
So we watch the Belgian Bullet, as he's named himself on Discord.
Oh yeah, that's him. Okay, I was wondering who was the Belgian Bullet.
With the helmet to match as well. A purple sector 2.
Oh yeah, he caught up 2.5 seconds in the last sector only.
So at the moment he's matching DCG, but he's now got the final sector to really pull in some time. Hopefully the cars in front see him coming behind.
Yeah, let's do Sonic Hawk here. 45.9. Third place.
Lap. So Sai just back from getting married, so congratulations to Sonic Hawk there. He's had his wedding, which seemed to go on for about 3 weeks, so I can imagine he either needs a really good sleep or a good result here to make him feel better.
Now we have a shadow bitten.
Just going to watch Senna
Mr.
come around the
Magic
last
is
corner.
oh,
Here comes Senna. How much has he gained there? He goes pole with a 142.8. Wow! So the track either really drying up now, or Senna found the ultimate grip on that lap. What a lap! 142.8.
I didn't know Lewis Hamilton was driving an hour league.
That's a fantastic lap. So at the moment we've got a top 4 of Senna Martins, DCG, Broomy and Sonic, but that will change before this qualifying session ends. We still have over 3.5 minutes to go. Some people now coming out to set times as well. We've got Pro Oliver.
Energy Dan is crossing the line here. He's struggling a little bit in the last sector, but it's a good lap. He gets. I think they catch a lot because they're in the second sector. They're only up like 1.5 to 2 seconds, and then suddenly 4 to 5 seconds. So the last sector is where he can gain here.
Yeah. So the delta on the dry tyres from the mediums to the softs over the first 2 sectors I've found is normally, if you really push it, it's about half a second. But then in that last sector alone, you could gain something like 7 to 8 tenths on your time. So the intermediates obviously doing the same against the wets with a drier track as well. So Need for Speed got himself up into P6 with that lap. He ended up coming in on a 146.3, which is a solid effort.
Okay. I'm excited for this race now. I see Maggi is doing the manual ERS now. Yeah,
so what we need to do here is watch, because he's currently P11. He's going to start to feel the pressure now because he's now on his outlap. He invalidated his last one. This is the one that you kind of have to get right, or that could be it. DCG,
Racing Porsche is up 3 seconds in the second sector. He's going to get a lot of time here.
And he goes to P6, but if you notice P3, Shadow Britain moves himself up. So we'll flick back to Mad G.
Rumi puts himself in third again.
Yeah, solid laps there from the guys, but no one getting close to Senna's 142.8, still 1.3 seconds off the next fastest lap. So as Mad G comes down the second long straight,
is doing
he's on his
quite
outlap.
a good lap, 43.4.
Yeah, so a good lap there puts him in P2. This pushes Mad G further down, but obviously if you can get your lap right at the end of qualifying, then that's the best time to do it, because the track in conditions like this will be at its peak performance.
Need for Speed is up on his timer again, 3 laps in a row. He just missed it.
Yeah, by 0.2. So that's qualifying done.
He kind of tumbled the last corner there.
If you look on board, try and see his fuel there. Doesn't look
Shadow
like
Britain is,
he's actually just run out of fuel as well.
Oh, goes wide. Shadow Britain lost.
You lose a lot of time doing that as well.
Yeah, zero grip there.
So Mad G, who's on a lap, we flick down to him. He's currently in P17. So this lap, this is the one. He's 0.7 up in the first sector.
Look at X Gamer. Oh,
up to P6.
P6.
So I would imagine Senna's sitting there at the moment, rubbing his hands together, because he's currently still got 0.6 of a second over Romsey, and he's got another lap in the bag yet, has Senna. As we watch, Mad G gets it a little bit wide through there. Even in the wet, you can get away with hugging that curb. Ryan Van Doon puts himself up into P4. Great lap, 144.2.
This one though, ooh, it's a tricky one. It goes
squibbly man there.
Very hard to the right there. Loses quite some time into the corner.
So as we watch Mad G come round.
Third gear. Here we want to go up to the 6th gear. Slow shift to the 3rd gear. We go 7th. 3rd gear, yes. Here you can short shift to first. It's slippery in these conditions, but second is
He's
okay.
got a good line through there. And this looks
Yeah,
like it's going to be
this
a
is a good lap.
143, 144. He's puts himself
P3.
P3. Great, from P20 to P3. DCG is invalidated. Ryan's done. We've got Broomy on a lap. Let's see where Broomy is.
He's going for the fast right-hander right now.
He's 0.2 down.
It's a slippery one. He handles it well. Not so aggressive into this one.
X Gamer's up by half a second, so he can carry this over the line.
Oh, Broom is struggling a bit.
Looks
actually.
like he's lost some time there. 0.6. He moves up to P4.
Yeah,
So
Broom
it's
awards
currently
his lap.
Renault Red Bull on the first two rows.
Yeah. Switch
DRS
that
has
to
been enabled too late, so no one's going to be taking advantage of that.
I think
Got
if you
DCG
swap
who's
the
spun into the pits.
yeah, I think everyone's done. Broomy aborted
That
his
is
lap.
it, yeah.
Maybe Topic.
We've got Topics coming round.
Topics on a lap.
And he puts himself P9.
If you swap the Renault for Ferrari, you have last year's GP3, I think.
So obviously with it being a wet qualifying, the guys can start on whichever tyres they want for a dry race. What would your strategy, we always say this, what would your strategy be, but you don't want to give away too much. But in this, I think really in this competition, it doesn't matter. I think everyone has got enough about them to know what strategy to go for.
What I think is on this track you can choose between one stopper and a two stopper. And you can in fact do one stopper on the soft mediums if you keep your tires together, but anything is possible here. Mediums to hard, soft to mediums, mediums to soft, soft, medium, soft. I think it depends on how you handle your tires and what situation you're in. If you're stuck behind someone, you have to get past, maybe undercut them and do a two stopper.
Okay, Philip, if you want to give us a rundown of the qualifying positions.
We have P1 is Senna, then we have Roms in P2, Magi in P3, awesome from him. X-Gamer in P4, DCG P5, Ryan Van Doom P6, and P7 is Broomy. 8th is Sander, P9 Topics, and finishing off top 10 is Shadow Britain. Tommy 11th, Energy Dan 12th, Luke 13th, Racing Porch 14th, and then we have 15th Psychomage. Pelidiragis, I will have to learn that one in 16th, and then we have some people back there.
Yeah, James
which
Hook,
I couldn't
Sonic
get a
Hawk,
look
Need for
on.
Speed, and I did miss who the last one was.
Yeah, it was Proliver, the last one there.
Ah, okay, so that's our grid. We've got a dry race. It will now be interesting to see which way the strategies are going to go. So the sun is out, just like that. Looking forward to this one. Should be a good race. A track that's very open, so shouldn't really be anyone that crashes out to a point of retiring. So hopefully minimal safety cars, if none, would be nice. And we just get a pure race.
Yeah, hopefully it's a good one.
Definitely.
And I hope no one gets the treatment I got in the practice earlier with the DRS broken in the first laps.
No.
I was stuck behind you there.
You couldn't get past, and I will admit I enjoyed that greatly. So yeah. So as the guys head off on the formation lap, so let's get the tyre information up for everyone. So looking down the field, we've got Senna on softs. He's starting in pole, so he'll be looking to scamper away at the start, and he'll probably be coming into pit around lap 6, 7, 8. That'll be the pit window for the softs, unless you're going to go to the hards, which you could probably come in around 4 or 5. We've got Romsey on the mediums, so he'll be looking to hold position off Mad G, who's on the softs, but a real opportunity here for the Renaults to get a 1-2. It's then down to them whether they get their pit stops right together. From X-Gamer all the way down to ISRL Tommy in 11th, we're all on the mediums. We've got Energy down on the softs. We've got Luke doing his usual and going for the hards. Podge on the mediums. Then Psychomich Peldaragas on the hards with James Hook, Sonic Hawk on the softs. And Need for Speed and Pro Oliver on the mediums. Quite an interesting choice of strategy from the two guys at the back there on the softs.
Yeah.
I certainly...
But I think the back behind it, sometimes you have to be aggressive too and just can't wait for anyone to do mistakes. So you have to take it matters into your own hands and just try to get as many positions as you can.
Yeah. So just to help out my teammate Hunter in the chat, Gaming Freak is Maurizio Manzo. Yeah, Mr. Quick. Having won the last couple of races and also achieving a pole position in GP2 this season as well.
So Gaming Freak is Merriman, so maybe he should
Yes.
rename himself to Speedy Freak or something.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have a check on the technical parts with the ERS and stuff, but I'm not gonna spoil anything in case of someone having a...
No, one thing we haven't
side.
mentioned here is penalties. A very easy track to run the track
corner,
limits.
mate.
Yeah, second corner, by running wide you can pick them up. Yeah, it's a really difficult track, so everyone will be looking to keep it as clean as possible, hopefully. But yeah, I think we could see some multiple warning penalties rack up on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not as harsh as Canada, but it's
No.
you could get some penalties.
So
here.
the guys come to the grid as the ones at the back start to go into their grid slots.
Teammates.
So we flick back
Let's
to
go.
Senna Martins. We're ready for the start of the race. And this is going to be a good one, I feel. The lights come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. They're out. And we're off. And Senna gets a fantastic start, as does Mad G. Mad G already into second place. And he's already harrying his teammate going into turn 1. Do they hold position and keep it clean?
Yeah,
they do as we go further down the field. Everyone through. Some people running wide. There's a bollard flying across the track, but no end plates, which is fantastic. Back to the front here, we've got Mad G really hunting down on his teammate.
Oh, we have a yellow flag here. Yeah, someone's being Sander. He's off his back again now, so it's not that bad.
Still running, so good so far. So as we come on to this long first straight, green flags, people running out wide in the background, but I'm going to keep it on the front here. We've got a yellow flag. Oh, we've got
Need for Speed and Tommy.
And a safety car, and well, we talked it up.
What?
Why have we got a safety car?
We have a safety car for 1 end plate again. 2 end plates.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
It's Monaco all over again. We had a safety car in Monaco with 1 end plate missing in
going up
in
into
Monaco.
Casino.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Wow, so now you've got to be looking at the guys on the softs and thinking this is a huge benefit. One thing I didn't realise when I was talking about pit windows is obviously these guys are starting on fresh softs and fresh mediums that won't have done quali runs, so they potentially can push a lap or 2 extra out of them as well. But the guys on the softs will be loving this. Oh, we've got Senna in the pits.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think the
and
softs
we've got
mono...
Mad G, and so they're going to switch to the hards and go to the end.
I was just about to say it. I think the soft ones are the ones who take a bullet here. Because the softs are... You put them on to get ahead in the start, but... Sure, you will save some laps with the safety car, but they will still get
a 5-second penalty, so that was called in the chat. Okay, so that brings Senna Martins out in 15th. And Mad G looks like he's out in 16th.
Yeah. Because I think...
and Mad G's come out on the mediums, so he's going to be 2-stopping.
Absolutely. I mean, you save some laps with the soft ones on the behind the safety car, but you also will ruin them for some laps, and those are the laps where they are better at the mediums. So when the safety car is gone, the softs are maybe 1 or 2 laps better than the mediums, and then you're behind again. So I think it was a good call for them to do the pit stop here, because...
Yeah, so hopefully the guys keep it nice and clean for the safety car. But unbelievable circumstances for the safety car to come out under. And now you've got to be looking at someone like Romsey, Topics, DCG, Ryan Van Doom. They're in a fantastic position. Fresh mediums that have been sat behind the safety car that will now easily go to lap 2021 where they can then come in and put a nice sticky set of soft tyres on and absolutely blitz it at the end of the race. And the guys on the hards are still going to struggle to keep with the medium tyres at the moment. So a fantastic position for the top 8.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I actually, I applaud his strategy to go with the softs, because if you look behind him, he's got 3 guys on the hards. They're all going to slow up the guys behind them. So Dan could get away just enough on the next few laps from the guys on the hards, and then come in and pit for the mediums. So It could be a strategy that really works.
Do we see any team orders here with Energy Dan and Racing Porsche maybe letting Energy Dan through on the softs?
No, I don't think so, because the mediums come in very quickly. I mean, if you go back to our practice race, you were on the softs, I was on the mediums, and after 3-4 laps, it wasn't getting as easy. I know you didn't have DRS, but...
yeah.
So we've got Sonic Hawk, who's decided to pit, and...
Yeah, the soft ones are going in. It's only Energy Dan now.
Why is James Hook in the pits again?
He's putting on, taking off the softs. He wasn't in the pits earlier, I think.
No, maybe...
It's the first one for him.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the first one for him.
Oh, and he's having a front wing change as well. So has he hit someone? So now our only soft runner is Energy Dan. So this has added a bit of spice to it, because we weren't expecting a safety car.
Yeah, I think, in my honest opinion, the safety car is fun.
James Hook,
back.
3-second penalties under the safety cars. Just
that's not good.
So unavoidable. There's just no need to be that close to the curb.
No, not in this pace.
I mean, I get it in race. I get it in race trim, especially around a track like this. But under a safety car, you've really got to just keep focused, keep your car on the track, and just be ready for the restart. He does now come up to the back of the pack. So this will be interesting. Will the Renault switch places is what I want to know. Is Maggi is going to be quicker on them medium tyres than Senna is on the hards, as we've got the safety car in this lap. So Romsey will begin to back the pack up. A real difficult track this for the safety car.
It is.
Going in and then the release. And I think difficult for where as the leader you launch and go for it, because no matter where you go in that last sector, you've got a slow corner coming up, and it just gives everyone the ability to get right on the back of you.
It's always a hard one to predict when you're gonna go. I think it's about.
So he's not really give the safety car that much room, has he?
Maybe slow down a bit here.
Yeah, unless he is literally just going to go for it out of the last corner. Do you just turn everything up, short shift out, get the grip down, and hope that you have enough into turn 1? Looks like that's what's going to happen. So he's out of the corner and he's away, and he has pulled a little gap over his teammate. So we currently have a Red Bull 1-2. We've then got Alpha in 3rd with a Haas in 4th and another Alpha in 5th.
Oh, Energy Dan got a bad run. He's being attacked.
So I want to go back and have a look at the Renaults here, because we've got Senna, who is very quick. Oh, as ISRL Tommy gets out wide, and we've got 2 Renaults going in. Oh, there's contact there. So that puts Senna and Maggi up a position. Senna goes for the lunge. Oh, that's not going to work, and he picks up a 3-second time penalty. So this is now the problem, because he's desperate to get past, absolutely desperate. And he's run out wide there as well, which means he's going to have to hand that back. And the problem with that is Pelderargus is falling quite far back. Oh, this is going to be messy going into here. Senna holds the line in tight. And that has released Maggi in front of him, and Senna seems to keep position. We will go back to the front in a moment, because Topics is all over the back of X Gamer, but I don't want to. Yeah, let's go back to the battle at the front.
Nothing real happening. Oh, whoa! We have a spinner. It's Need for Speed. He's off, avoiding the wall though.
Right. Okay. So
solid 360 back. Yeah, X Gamer is under pressure from Topics now.
Yeah, so we've got Energy Dan putting a move on Racing Podge. So the Ferraris have switched. Oh, as Podge gets onto the curb out of there, which will slow you up. Romsey sets the fastest lap of the race.
P2,
Whoa,
who's going
yep,
for
we're
it?
here at the front. 3 wide into turn 1, that's not going to work. Oh, really tight around there, but the guys seem to get through, and that puts Topics into P2. With Ryan Van Doom in 3rd, and X Gamer drops back 2 positions to 4th. So next on X Gamer's tail is the very quick DCG, and he's bringing along Shadow Britain as well.
Yeah,
However,
definitely.
all the time this is happening, our race leader Romsey has pulled 2.5 seconds at the front.
Look at Magi and Senna. Magi pulled a gap now. That's the mediums versus the hards.
So we'll have DRS on the next lap. Psychomich makes a move. That's tight.
It is. James Hook with a 3 seconds.
Psychomich looks like he's got a run around the outside of Luke. Oh, that's close going into there as we jump on board with Mad G. They all tighten up in the sweeping
Ryan Van Doom
right-hander.
up to P2. Completely missed that one. Yeah, like I said, Energy then is past Racing Porsche now.
Yep, and he is
I
putting a
think
gap
Racing
into
Porsche
him
went,
as well.
he went wide, I think.
Yes, but we've got an absolute train of cars. We've got 3rd all the way to 6th, and then we've got 7th all the way down to pretty much 14th, all within a second.
We have P1 to 11.
Broomy tries to
10
make
seconds.
a move going into there, pushes Racing Podge wide a little bit, but gets the move done. Our championship leader starts to make his move through the field.
Absolutely, he wants to win this one.
Oh, that's opportunistic from Matt G. That's not going to work. Oh no, taps him wide, gets the move done. Harsh but fair, I would say.
I mean, it's always hard to see in this angle and everything, but I think it was
It
quite
looks like
fair.
Luke's going to get him back coming into here. He's got the run on him. Does he make the
Senna
move?
nice.
He
Going
does.
for it.
Oh.
Senna gets Psychomich.
Oh, it's Senna that he was battling with. Okay, so Senna's back there, and Mad G is actually scampering away after Racing Podge. The problem Mad G has is that he's got to stop again. I can't see them mediums going to the end of the race.
Oh,
So we go
he
back
made
to the
one
front.
lap from the others. Look at Racing Porsche, it's 1 lap older only.
Yeah,
So they're gonna pit around the same time.
yeah. Back through the field, we've got Energy Dan in 7th. He'll be enjoying himself at the moment, looking really comfortable. There, and
Yeah,
a
he's the
solid
only
showing
one
for the
who's
Ferrari.
Got a gap except for Romsey with 3 second lead right now.
Yeah, so that's up to 3. We've got Topics within Ryan Van Doom's DRS, closely followed by X Gamer, who's closely followed by DCG. Just dropping off the back a little bit now, Shadow Britain, and he's got Energy Dan closing in. Energy Dan soft, so Shadow Britain picks up a 3-second time penalty. Energy Dan softs are going to start to feel a little bit worn now. Oh, we've got a yellow flag in Sector 1.
It's a Ferrari, it's Racing Porsche.
Oh no. And he has damage as well.
Oh, that's not good. He could do the hards to the end right now.
Yeah, quite easily. I mean, you could even go mediums to the end now, but obviously he's already on them, isn't he? So yeah, he is. So he's going to have to go on to the hards if he wants to go to the end. So we've got Senna Martins looking to make a move on Luke.
I think we're going to see Energy Dan pitting in about 2 laps maybe, or 3 laps.
And Senna is now just within a second of his teammates. Oh, he's just dropped out, but he's going to probably be picking up DRS very soon. So what I want to know with Renault is, do team orders come into play here? We've got Senna second in the championship on a great run, 3 wins in a row. What happens?
It's always a hard
we've
one
got a
to
move
call,
from the Williams at the back there.
but
Going
I
up
think
the inside of Sonic, and then Sonic gets the grip on the outside. So Romsey now 3.1 seconds in the lead, and we've got a fantastic battle for second place coming in. DCG can't seem to pull them in, but Energy Dan is certainly closing in on Shadow. He's now within half a second. DRS open. Is he close enough before the straight? Topics picks up a 3-second penalty.
Yes, he gets past also. I think.
Energy Dan picks up a 3-second time penalty, and that looked like Xander picks up a 3. I did say that these were going to come in thick and fast eventually.
The second corner, man. It's.
It is horrible if you run
wide. As soon as you go wide, it's hard.
So Energy Dan should have the DRS out on the straight.
He's going for the move now. He's really going for the move now.
Okay, so Need for Speed picks up another penalty. Energy Dan's got the DRS open. Pulls to the inside. Should be well ahead before the corner. He is. Pulls back in front. Takes the line into the corner, and very nicely done by Energy Dan. Great move. That's P6. Really good race so far.
Great move. Solid one. Get past before the corner. Don't lose time.
So we've got Mad G coming through. He's got past Broomy. We've now got our championship leader in second. Oh, there's an accident in the background. Yes, we've had Psychomich come together. I'm not sure who with. Possibly Pro Oliver. Yep, it looks like Pro Oliver's. They're both running wide, so it looks like they're losing downforce.
Yeah, Psychomich has a broken front wing. Quite bad one, actually.
Yeah, we've got guys getting
Can't even see the blue anything.
Oh no! And James Hook picks up damage there as well.
Yeah, James Hook ain't happy now.
No, so we go back to the front. We've got Mad G, who's now on the back of Shadow. DCG picks up a 3-second penalty, so looks like all the guys at the front are picking up penalties. Shadow gets that horribly wrong through there, runs out wide. Mad G, oh god, comes back on the track violently there. Does Mad G go for the move? Go back on board. Oh, Energy Dan's gone out wide. Them softs are crying enough now.
Yeah, it's left. Usually maybe around lap 7, 8.
If I was Energy Dan, I'd be pitting this lap. So Mad G will stay on board down the straight to see what the closing speed is like.
Topics is up. Oh, X-Gamer. Oh, X-Gamer pulls Ryan Van Doom so far.
Mad G wasn't going to get the move done on Shadow going into there. Oh, we've got a yellow flag in sector 2. We've got a Haas spun. So Luke is around.
Without damage, but we have Sander with damage.
Yeah, he's missing an end plate. So back to the front. We've got this fantastic battle as Mad G tries to go up the inside of Shadow through there. That's a tough move.
Makes it stick. Will we see Energy down into the pits right now? I think so.
I would hope so. No, he's going to stay out for another lap. I think that's a lap too many, because the mediums will easily do 20-21 laps. There's only 17 laps to go. So I think a mistake possibly there from not pitting and going on to the mediums.
I think so.
As he defends nicely from Mad G going into turns 1 and 2, but this could give Mad G the run.
Mad G is looking solid now.
Yeah, and his teammate's not far behind him either. So what Mad G needs to do now is probably just wait until...
Not like that. Be patient.
Yeah, you've got a DRS straight coming up. You know that Energy Dan's not going to have DRS down this straight. He's got tyres that are sliding all over the place as Mad G gets it a bit squibbly out of there.
It's easy to
get
a
on board with Mad G
there.
coming down here. He's got the DRS open. He's got everything turned up. But he's straight line speed's being compromised. Dan's got the inside. Oh, he has to give that one up. And all the time this is holding Mad G up, and now he's got his teammate behind him.
Yeah.
Right, Energy Dan has to come in this lap. What Mad G needs to do is, because he's going to be pitting again, if he wants to work for the team, is he needs to let Senna go. Senna's on the hards till the end of the race, and he looks like he's got good pace on him as well.
Yeah, I think Mad G will only let Senna go if Senna can clear some air behind him, and that will only happen if.
So it looks like Dan's in the pits. He does come into the pits. Does he slow the car down enough? He does. No
Ooh,
penalty.
that one was close, I think.
So that's released the Renaults.
As long as Shadow Britain's sticking with them, I don't think they will swap positions to risk getting
No, it's a tough one,
double
isn't it?
overtake on Magi.
However, Magi may now have the pace to start breaking away. Sex Gamer picks up a penalty. We head back to the front quickly just to check on our poor race leader who's not got much coverage because he's out on his own by 5.1 seconds. ISRL Tommy picks up a penalty, yeah.
Broomy too.
So we've still got this battle going on between Ryan Van Doom, Topics, with X Gamer just out of the DRS. DCG sitting nice in 5th. He's got 5.1 seconds to Mad G. We go further back down the field as we've still got this battle between Mad G, Senna, Shadow, Broomy. ISRL Tommy's there as well. Ooh, that's looking like...
Yeah. So this race has went from a Red Bull...
Oh, wow.
This race has gone from a Renault versus Red Bull race to a three-team race now with Alfa Romeo in the pitch there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like... I say that he brings in a 10th, but Mad G not bringing the gap down massively to DCG. So
No.
5 seconds. However, they are starting to pull away from Shadow. If you look, he's now 0.9 behind Senna, so this will probably be the last of his DRS. So we've got Zander coming into the pits. He'll be replacing his front wing. And we go back to Energy Dan, who's out on fresh mediums. He's gone down to 16th, but doesn't have to stop again. He's got mediums that will now see him through to the end of the race. He's going to get past Zander. We've got James Hook in 12th as well. He will be pitting. No, he may not be pitting before the race ends. So Mad G is closing that gap in on DCG. It's just under 5 seconds now. However, Mad G is going to feel the heat now from his teammate. Jump on board with Senna coming through here. Really nice opportunity when you're following someone through there to tee up that second part and get the run down here. Senna hasn't managed to do it this time. But he
I
is
think it's close now. They can do the swap now.
I think start finish straight, they need to do the swap. Because Senna is all over the back of him. And if you race like this too long behind someone, you're either going to rack up penalties or you're going to end up coming together.
I totally agree with that one.
But this is where, as I was saying before the race, the problem could be is that they both have good pace. Both want a strong finish. And we all know what happens when you get in the car and you put the helmet on. You kind of forget everything else around you. So we've got Romsey, our race leader, in the pits.
Okay, he's the one to...
So he's going on the hards till the end. Started on the medium, so a very early pit stop. Interesting strategy, but possibly not feeling the love of the medium tyres, so he will go to the end. The only thing I've noticed with the hards on race runs around here is they can take 4 to 5 laps to really come to life. So hopefully he can maintain some solid pace. He's out of trouble. He's got a nice gap ahead of him, 4 seconds. He's got Sonic Hawk just far enough behind him so he's not in the DRS as well, so he can focus on his race pace. And
the question now is, can Romsey pull 8 seconds on Senna with 11 laps?
Fresher hard tyres, yeah. I don't know. And this is where team orders come into play again.
Yeah, Magi is still ahead of him.
They've got a big gap to ISRL Tommy now, but Magi has gapped Senna again, so we go back to the front. Ryan Van Doom leads. He's got
looking
Topics.
at some timings here. I think we have Senna. He's really struggling in the sector 1. I think it's the beginning of the sector 2. I mean.
Oh, Topics getting very close to Ryan Van Doom going through there. So Topics, fingers crossed his internet holds out. Looks like he's going to get the run on Ryan Van Doom here.
Yeah.
He'll have DRS.
Get a good exit.
Has he got the right wing to get past? It doesn't look like he has. Ryan Van Doom holding. Is he past? They go in. Oh, Oh, they come together and Ryan Van Doom loses an end plate. And Topics, no damage, but almost spins. So this all the time, holding up the guys for the Renaults.
Yeah, look at X Gamer, he's close now.
Yeah, DCG not far off. Mad G now has that gap down by another 7/10, so he's down to 4.2. He still has his teammate very close behind him.
Yeah.
If we look at Mad G there on his laps, he's probably got another good 8 laps on them tyres before they start to spin, as Zander sets the fastest lap of the race.
I think we're gonna have some problems here with Senna passing Maggi because every lap
James
he's
picks up another penalty.
He's losing
Oh,
2/10.
yellow free in sec. Oh, it's Racing Pod retires in the pits.
Yeah. Senna is losing 2/10 before the straight every lap on Maggi.
Yeah, he can't get the
corner.
run with the tyres, which means he's not close enough to them. So we've got Hunter in the chat, or soon to be known as Jimbo's teammate. He's saying that Romsey needs to make up half a second a lap on Senna. I think he could possibly be doing that with the clear air that he has, with Senna struggling and following a teammate.
Yeah, it can be hard, but also penalties will play in a game here.
Yeah, definitely. We go back to the front. Topics now goes ahead as Ryan Van Doom comes out of the pits, and possibly a glitch on the system there because Ryan Van Doom came out of the... Yeah, he's driving backwards. Okay, Ryan Van Doom has disappeared. Fair enough. I'm glad I caught that one on the stream because that's not something that you see every day. So if we go to third now, DCG, he's in 0.8. However, Mad G has got the gap down to 3.1 seconds, so he's pulled in a second since we last checked. Senna now out of the DRS, so that's going to cause him some problems as he runs wide again before the straight, compromising his run. Energy down, sitting pretty in 13th.
It's really easy to be quick on the throttle there.
Yeah,
you have to be patient to go late on the throttle so you don't go wide out, because it will compromise your exit.
So the gap from Romsey to Senna, as Ben is saying in the chat, is down to 6.5, so he's pulling him in all the time. Senna getting held up in the hot air of the car in front of him, not able to run rich on the fuel because the temperatures will skyrocket. Mad G has got that gap to 1.2 and seems to be holding it. Is this giving you any thoughts on what strategy to go for?
Not really, man.
Ooh, that's coming together.
I think Maggi will go for the softs in the end. Senna is going to the end with these hards. Still waiting for DCG, X Gamer and Topics to make a move into the pits, as we have a really good fight between X Gamer and DCG right now.
Mad G now 2.5
Sonic
seconds
into
down.
the pits.
Broomy. So Romsey's got Broomy. So now it's just Senna, and he's 6.1 seconds. So James Hook moves up into 13th, but he's got a very quick Ryan Van Doom on him, who's picked up a 3-second time penalty there for taking the strangest line I've ever seen through turns 1 and 2.
Okay, I just have to say, I think I have a new favorite driver in this league. Look at Pelderagis. He looks like Michael Schumacher with that helmet in the Mercedes.
Oh yeah, very nice.
Yeah, I'm a Michael Schumacher fan, so
yeah,
I have to give that one to him.
So DCG's got X Gamer.
Oh yeah, in the fast right-hander.
Great move going through there. X Gamer comes back up the inside though. If you can keep this clean through here, DCG will have the grip and he'll have the line going into the next corner. Oh, that's going to be tight. DCG backs out of it. Sensible move, I think. But this brings Mad G even closer to him.
Look at Topics now, yes.
Senna now 1.5 seconds off of his teammate. Romsey down to 5.6 on Senna as well. So he's closing the gap down. Senna doesn't have DRS.
Maybe
X Gamer comes into the pits. That puts Mad G up into third, and he's now very close to DCG. So that battle
is already past him.
Yep, so we've got 5.4 to Romsey, from Romsey to Senna. We've got a yellow in sector
we have
3.
Williams. I think it was James Hook having a moment.
Yep, looks like he's still going. He now goes into the pits.
5 seconds.
Oh no.
X-Game has really jumped Ryan Van Doom.
Yeah.
Look at the gap. 5 seconds. Well, 1-2 Alfa Romeo now.
Yeah, and a 3-4 Renault, and almost a 5-6 Red Bull. Oh, we've got Matt G runs off.
No, doesn't lose any damage, so
that
that's good.
That wasn't team orders. However, that has released Senna onto a DCG who has 16 lap old mediums with Senna on hards that will go to the end of the race.
But with the pace Senna has had, did it really get released, or will Maggi fish him back in again soon?
I think the tyres for Maggi are now going to be a problem.
15 laps, yeah.
Yeah, they could be starting to
agree
get
with
a bit
that
hot. Oh, as James Hook picks up another 3-second penalty. So we've got Energy Dan up into the points. He's within the DRS of Ryan Van Doom. And he's on mediums that will safely see him through to the end of the race. So fingers crossed. Looking at this, Energy Dan could pick up another one. Luke's got to stop again. You've got Mad G who's got to stop again. That's going to be close when they come out of the pits. And the gap from Romsey to Senna, 5 seconds. So he's not really reeling them in. Is Mad G going to drive shotgun for the team? Is he going to drop back and slow Romsey up?
Senna is really struggling in the end of Sector 1.
However, he is closing DCG down. He's in a second, so he's going to be in the DRS. Shadow Britain picks up a 3-second penalty. So we've got Topics out in front. He's got to stop again. We've got DCG. He's got to stop.
Broomy will have to stop. Maggi, I can only imagine, will stop once more.
So we look at Romsey. He's the man to watch because he's the one that can close the gap to Senna. He's got tyres that are 11 laps fresher. Them hards are really going to start to sing now as well.
Energy Dan is on the points.
Yep. He's sat nicely in 10th position. He's got ISRL Tommy over a second behind him.
It looks like me with the white helmet. I like that. Maggi is really catching up on Senna. 1.5. I'm only joking. 1 second in the last lap.
Yeah, Senna's within the DRS now. As DCG runs wide. So that will be Senna getting past down the straight. He
Let's
just
see
needs
if
to take
Senna
it
can
easy.
get this exit now. He's fast on the throttle. It's better.
He's got this done.
Yeah. He doesn't open his DRS though.
Ah, does he not have
His
DRS?
DRS is broken. Gets the move done. Anyway. Or will DCG come back at him?
Oh, Senna pushes him out wide. DCG go too wide into there.
Yeah, it's a good battle.
Oh, he's got him. He's got the move done. So this gives Topics another second on the lead, but that's Senna into second.
Topics
Romsey
going for the pits.
So Topics is in, our race leader's in. However, what we've got here is Romsey isn't really closing the gap down to Mad G. And he's now actually lost time to Senna, even with Senna battling with DCG. So
The
Senna
hard
leads.
ones are... The hard tires are hard to race here, in my opinion.
Yeah, very difficult. He's losing time.
Broom is in as well.
Mad G has another 7 laps to do on them mediums.
And Topics has a gap on X Gamer now.
So Topics is
will
away.
have to
He's got pace.
17 seconds.
Yeah, I think that's too much. Way too much.
Can be hard, yeah.
We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. We've got a Williams off. James Hook has spun. That'll be hitting the curve on turn 12.
But he already did 1 second on Senna, so...
Right, not DCG, sorry, Romsey now needs to put the hammer down. He really needs to start reeling these guys in. If he wants an opportunity at winning this race or stepping on the podium. Oh, DCG's really struggling on them tyres now.
I can only imagine he's going in now for the softs.
So if we look at how DCG's struggling on them tyres, he's 1 lap older than Mad G.
Mad G is staying out, DCG going in. Really cautious into the pits there.
So that will put a Renault 1-2. And Romsey only 2.5 seconds now behind Mad G. So is he starting to close him in? Is Mad G starting to struggle with them tyres?
I think X Gamer did the wrong strategy here because he's on 4 laps old hards. He won't even utilize them well.
No.
Three and a half seconds between, or 2 seconds between Ryan Van Doom and DCG.
Yeah, Romsey 2.4 seconds behind.
Now it's 1.5. This goes fast. Now it's almost 1 second. It is 1 second.
Energy Dan up to P8. Luke picks up a 3-second time penalty. Really hope Dan can score some points here and start his season off.
Definitely. He's been doing really well in some of the races too. Just
Romsey down to 2 seconds. Mad G's losing time to Senna now. Looks like their mediums are crying enough. Does he pit? He does.
He does.
Mad G's in the pits.
That's the softs on.
And the delta here is around 23 seconds.
It was half a second behind DCG before. Let's see where he winds up. I think it's maybe behind Energy then actually. Oh, DCG has got Ryan Van Doom.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on Mad G as Topics goes fastest with a 1:34. I don't think DCG's going to get him. It's a long pit lane. He's passed him. Way. Yeah, he's passed him. And Energy Dan's going to get him as well. No, Energy Dan just comes out. So Mad G drops down to 7th. He is now on the super sticky soft tyres, and they will be great for these last 5 laps. It's now a question of what he can do with it. If we go back to the front, Senna only 3.6 seconds ahead of Romsey, and he's run wide into there. Is he struggling? Mad G already has Ryan Van Doom, so I'm not sure what's happened there. So Mad G goes on the hunt for DCG, but I can't see Mad G catching Topics.
No.
In 3rd place. However, one thing I have noticed is that Mad G hasn't had a penalty flash up as James Hook receives another one.
Yeah, that's true. I don't even want to check the penalties because it's just exciting to see how they wind up in the end. Roms is 3.3 now. Topics has gained 5 seconds since the pit stop.
Yeah,
I don't think that's enough.
No, I don't think the softs are going to be good enough in the next 2 laps for him to continue to pull that gap in. However, Senna does seem to be maintaining the gap over Romsey.
We will have a really good fight though between Mad G and DCG, between the soft runners.
Yeah, 1 lap difference, but it looks like Mad G's got mad pace.
Yeah, he got the DRS right now. Fastest last sector. Oh, we have
James Hook.
Williams.
Have we got a safety car? We have.
We
We've
have.
got a safety car. This
Oh,
causes problems for Senna. This causes problems for Romsey. This causes problems for X Gamer. The winner from this, potentially, Mad G.
Or Topics.
Yeah, the soft runners. You've got to look at the soft runners. You've got to look at a potential top 3 of Topics, DCG and Mad G. And I think Mad G's got the pace to get DCG. Wow.
I mean, it would be maybe lap 25, 26 when they get released, so not a lot of time, but...
With the Delta, does Senna come in and put a set of softs on? Does he risk it? He knows his pace is good.
40% from maybe 20 to 22 seconds will be close to get out ahead of Topics, but...
I think he'll come out in front of X Gamer, so he'll come out in 4th, or 3rd, should I say.
I think so.
What does he do? He pits. He's going in. Yeah. So our race leader goes into the pits for a set of soft tyres. Romsey's in the pits as well. So this is literally going to release our top 3. It looks like
Topics as well.
Topics in the pits as well. Why?
So Senna is going to lead this one. I think Topics just saved Senna.
I think he did. His X Gamer goes through.
Yeah, he's 2nd. DCG is 3rd. Magi 4th. Romsey lost step 1.
Wow. Crazy tactics. Topics has gone down to 9th. Energy Dan pitted. Now. And I don't know why.
Oh no, why?
No, that move doesn't make sense to me.
It's not many
I would
laps
imagine
left.
the safety car is going to come in this lap.
I don't think so. I think it would be one more lap.
I don't know if because of the closeness of the end of the race and with sort of 2-3 laps to go. Possibly we could see it coming at the end of this lap. So Senna leads. X Gamer is going to get eaten alive by those behind him.
The question is, I know we have seen Senna get some penalties. Will he pull the gap?
I think. Well, he's on fresh softs, and he's got X Gamer in between on the hards, so he needs to use that to his advantage, and literally scamper away. Which he can. He's got the pace. I think the big thing now is who keeps their cool. On the restart, who keeps their cool going into the first few corners?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's one more lap of safety car.
So we're only going to have 2 flying laps when the safety car comes in. Very surprised at people pitting. I kind of get it from one side, but two laps, 2 flying laps after this. I suppose the long.
Yeah, I think the real
there won't be any DRS.
This one was the real losers from this one is Topics and Energy Dan. Topics would have had the lead right now.
So we've got Need for Speed rushing to catch the back of the field up. We'll have a quick look at Pelderagus, just because you like his crash helmet. The fact that he looks like Michael Schumacher in the Mercedes.
Yeah.
But he really does. It's a good look.
It is. I like it. With the red tires as well.
Yeah. I didn't have you down as an accessorising person, Sven.
What did you say?
I said I didn't have you down as someone that looks at their accessories to match.
Yeah. I'm one of those. I worked in a clothing shop for
you're a bit of a fashion,
years, maybe.
Bit of a fashion icon then.
I wish I was. I'm studying to be a teacher now instead, so Changing directions.
I suppose you could be a very fashionable teacher. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you going to have a jacket with patches, or?
You're gonna have a dress code for every day.
you need to have a blazer with the patches, leather patches sewn on.
Definitely. Then
So
I'm gonna rename myself to Ted Mosby.
Well, you've had more names than I can remember already, so...
Yeah, according to Jeff, I should rename myself to Nick, because he calls me Nick every time in the MFD. Nick, your tires are looking good.
So we go back to... Oh, Senna
the safety car is in.
Yeah, and Senna is missing an end plate.
Oh, it does.
Laser Lord picking that out on the chat in YouTube. So
thank you, Lord of Lasers.
Okay, so safety car is in this lap. The field starts to get backed up.
Can we see a podium here for Mad G?
I think we will, if he can keep it clean.
Yeah.
Make the moves at the right time.
Nothing too hasty now, guys. Make this a fun one. I just have to say Mad G's helmet is also lit.
Yeah, there's some good helmets. So we go back to the front.
Let's see, it's gonna go now.
Senna gets the launch. X-Gamer not far behind him.
Yeah, he gets a good launch too. DCG is struggling on the launches.
So DCG moves out of the way and Mad G's using his slipstream. What DCG needs to do now is get X-Gamer.
Topics gets Broomy. And Broomy cuts the corner to almost attack back.
Senna pulls the gap. We've got DCG and Mad G very close together, but as I mentioned already, there will be no DRS now. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. We've got a Ferrari round. That's Energy Dan.
No, he had a good race.
So as we watch this coming down here, DCG moves to the inside. Can he get the move done? No. X-Gamer holds them off. The issue for DCG is here, he's got penalties. Oh, he's pushing him really wide.
Mad G is also in the back of X-Gamer right now on the inside. This could be... Oh, they touch.
Manages to keep going.
Yeah, Mad G gets the position there. Now Rom's X-Gamer is getting swallowed here. Oh, Roms is sliding all over the place.
I just want to keep an eye on DCG and Mad G because this one is going to go to the end. Mad G runs it really wide going around there, gets the cut back though with these soft tyres.
DCG locks up.
Save yourself. So does Mad G now get the run?
Senna has to pull away because I know he has some penalties.
Yeah, DCG has penalties as well. So Romsey gets past X-Gamer as well, and that releases him to Mad G, but this is the last lap of the race. Senna now 2.9 clear. Shadow Britain picks up a 3-second time
penalty. Topics is back in the top 6 now.
Mad G needs to know, and I'm sure they would have communicated as a team, that DCG has penalties.
Yep. Oh, and then Ryan Doom gets penalties as well.
I know we've got yellow flags, but we need to watch at the front here. We've got Romsey closing down on Mad G on the last lap, and I don't think either of these two have penalties.
Oh, DCG gets a good run there.
Romsey slides it out of the corner. We've got yellows in Sector 2, but it doesn't look like anyone's around.
Nothing special. It was Need for Speed losing it.
Romsey's not pulling Mad G in enough. So it looks like it's going to be a Renault 1-2, because I know DCG's got penalties.
Let's see.
So we go to our race leader, Senna Martins, and looking like race winner.
Oh no!
As he comes across the line. Senna Martins takes the win, closely followed home by DCG, but Romsey jumps them all! And Mad G must have picked up some massive penalties and goes back to 6th.
Yeah. Tommy jumps Van Doom.
Wow. So if
And
you
Pro
want
Oliver in the points.
Wow, what a finish. 4 wins in a row. Knocking on the door of the GP3 Championship, but he's looking like winning the first one. That gives him the Champion League. So we look at our top 3 here. We've got Senna Martins. He takes first place in his 4th win in a row, followed closely by Romsey with DCG in 3rd. And we'll go over the rest of the standings now for the race once they load. So, a great race, as you can see, plenty of penalties in abundance. Romsey, the only one to not pick up penalties in the entire race, so well done to him. So, we run through the finishing order. Senna Martins comes first with Romsey in 2nd, DCG 3rd, X-Gamer finishes in 4th with Topics in 5th, Mad G 6th, who was showing great in the race and came across the line looking like he was on for a podium, but sadly 6 seconds of penalties with a safety car so close to the end causes you major issues. Zander comes home in 7th, so some points for the Toro Rosso team. Very happy with that myself. ISRL Tommy takes 8th with Ryan Van Doom in 9th, and as you mentioned, Pro Oliver takes the last point in 10th. If we look further down the field, Luke finishes 11th with Need for Speed 12th, Shadow Britain 13th, Pelderaga's 14th. We've then got Broomy in 15th, Sonic Hawk in 16th, Energy Down in 17th, Psychomich 18th, James Sook 19th with a non-finish, and Racing Podge in 20th with a non-finish as well. Wow, what a race, what a finish. Definitely. Hey Romsey, not bad. So Sven, I'm assuming you've invited the other 2 from the top 3 to the party?
I've sent them invite twice. They will have Senna.
Fantastic, so Senna's in, and we'll just get the winning car up on the screen. And then we'll get to talking to our race winner. 4 in a row. As I've just mentioned in the commentary, absolutely banging on the door, ripping down the rafters of joining GP3. Please watch your P's and Q's.
I will.
How'd you feel? Well, you must be getting used to this now.
Well, I know it was so stressful a race than today. I didn't have the feeling like I had last time at Canada. But yeah, I think I made the right move to, I think it was a good
Romsey,
race for myself.
Just quickly, Romsey, could you possibly go into your audio sharing settings on your PlayStation and tick all 3 of the boxes so that we can hear you on the comms, please?
If you go into when you're in here in party settings.
Yeah, do it in the party settings and then just make sure all your boxes are ticked that you're sharing audio. So we'll quickly jump back to Senna. So yeah, stressful race. Had the pace, took pole position with an absolutely blinding lap in the wet. Probably wished it was raining in the race after that as well.
No, really not. I don't think you know that.
But yeah, a really tough race, and I noticed it was called out by Laserlord on the chat. You're missing an end plate at the end of that.
Yeah, I drove 25 laps without an end plate.
Okay, yeah, seems like the normal thing to do these days. So yeah, so what you're saying is that even with part of your wing missing, you can still win races in GP4. No, not like this. But a fantastic effort.
Thank you.
It might work now.
Yeah, we'll find out in the chat if people can hear Romsey. But yeah, great race. You now take the championship lead. More points for Renault. Obviously, you had your teammate in close following, but dropped down to 6th due to penalties.
Yeah.
So a bit disappointing because it looked like you were on for a double podium.
Yeah, he picked up a penalty in the lap 26. So yeah, it was. I think a lot of guys still picked up penalties on the last laps on the softs.
Yeah, issue with the safety car, isn't it? At the end of the race, it bunches the field up, and those with penalties just become even more stressed out because they know that it's going to be difficult to hold on to the gaps. Romsey, we'll go to you. Fingers crossed the guys can hear you. So 2nd place.
Yeah.
Back on the podium after Baku.
Yes.
Feel good about that one?
Yeah.
Bit of a heartbreaker because you were leading for so long. You had a real comfortable gap at the front. Interesting to hear about your strategy. You went mediums till about lap 12 or 13 and then went hards to the end. I mean, I suppose in hindsight, with the safety car coming out, it worked a treat.
Yeah, without the last safety car, anything was possible, but I'm really happy to get the second place too. So
Yeah, can we get DCG invited back in? I think he's left the party.
Sure.
But yeah, a solid drive, Romsey. Obviously took
Yeah,
advantage with the safety car at the start, with the Renaults both pitting, and then led cleanly. And congratulations on finishing the race with no penalties around a track that just breeds them ridiculously.
yeah, thank you, and congrats to Senna too for another victory.
Did you say Senna GP2 or Senna 2?
GP2.
Yeah, but to be serious, Ramsey, I think you had the best pace of us all today. But I think, there was a reason I chose for the softs at the start. Because I knew with 20 drivers, I really had a feeling that it wasn't going to be an early safety car. And just go on the hard start at the end, and I think that made me win it.
Senna, we missed it on the stream, but your overtake on Mad G, what happened? Was it team orders, or did he make a mistake at the end of the straight?
There was contact between him and DCG.
Right, okay, and that gave you the opportunity to get past. I think, in effect, it was the best thing for the team, because obviously you were going to the end on them hards before the safety car came out. And I feel like you were struggling behind him through Sector 1. Sven definitely picked up on it. You were losing sort of 2 tenths every time you came round the corner before the long straight. Unfortunately, DCG's PlayStation has crashed, so he won't be joining us. I'm sure he's absolutely delighted to be on the podium again. But quick, well, not overly quick maths, should I say, but you lead the championship now, Senna.
Yes.
We've got Austria up next. Are you going to diminish everyone's feelings?
They get 5 in a row, you mean?
Yeah, are you going to go? Are you looking good for 5 in a row for Austria?
I don't know. I think practice will sort it out, but I think I have very good pace at the moment, and I think I'm going to be fast at every track. And yeah, I just feel good on track. I feel good in battles, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season.
Good. Romsey, what are your thoughts on Austria?
Yeah, it will be a fun track. I think it will be closer there. It's an easy track, so I think the top 10 will be even closer than in here. Yeah. But I'm just waiting for it. It will be fun.
Good. I think a big thing with Austria is if you can break the DRS to the person behind you, you then have the opportunity to get away. So we could see an absolute train of cars. We could see a coming together in turns 1 or 2 on the first lap, which allows a group of cars to get away.
Yeah.
But definitely a track that we're all looking forward to, and it definitely breeds closer racing as well.
Yeah.
Sven, have you got anything you want to ask our race winner Senna and P2 Romsey?
Yeah, sure. Senna, one question for you. When you jumped into the pits in the end there, if Topics wasn't going to the pits, he was going to have the lead.
Yeah, I don't really know what X Game and Topics did, because Topics I think was on 2-3 lap old softs. Then he would have been easily in the lead, and X Game had stayed out on the hard, so I think they ruined their own chances with not boxing there. And of course Topics with boxing there.
But you definitely had a pace, but if Topics was ahead of you with 4 laps old softs, would you have gotten him?
It was going to be difficult because my DRS was broken for already 10 laps, so it was like front wing broken, DRS broken, everything was trying to get me lose this win.
Yeah, and can you see the championship getting closer now, or do you think there will be more competition coming?
If I see what Romsey did today, I'm gonna be looking to him the next few races, because he picked up pace again. I think he had some difficulties in Spain and Monaco, but in Canada and today in France, he is rapid.
Yeah, he's really good. And to you, Romsey, do you think you're involved in the top fight now for the championship, or?
Yeah, of course I missed the first 3 or 4 races, so I'm behind already. So I think I'm more of a guy who shuffles the deck a bit. and
It's an interesting pronunciation of the word deck from Monty. But we won't get into that. Everyone has a sordid enough mind to realise what we're getting at.
Still not as bad as my asses.
No, and cutting the chicken as well. So,
yeah.
So guys, that's it. France is done. The stressful race, as Senna pointed out, with the safety cars. Yeah. Me and Sven were both saying in the chat beforehand that not a track that you expect to see a safety car out. Lo and behold, the first safety car came out because of an end plate coming off.
2 this time, actually. In Monaco was 1. This one was 2 end plates.
Oh, well, I completely understand. Maybe they should have ran 2 safety cars then. So. Yeah, unfortunately, the patch for the safety car with Codemasters has gone from one ick to the other. You would literally have to be hanging like a chicken to bring a safety car out beforehand. Now you can just have a tap with someone and the safety car will come out. So unfortunately that's what we have to work with. But a great race from both you guys, a great race from DCG and the rest of the field as well. Very clean again off the start through turns 1 and 2, which are really, really difficult here. So again, GP4 setting a precedent for how to drive. I know I've done a couple of races in GP2 and it's been absolutely horrifying, some of the moves that have been made.
Hello.
Yeah, not you.
Oh, thanks.
Not yet. Not yet. There's always time. But no, a great race. So we move on to Austria. A fantastic track for close racing. Not the most exciting circuit in the world. Very based on long DRS straights. But some fantastic overtaking opportunities. So we expect to see quite a bit of action there. So it's now a week of training for these guys. GP3's week starts tomorrow. And then so on with GP2 and Prem. But as ever, for those of you that have watched the stream, for those of you that haven't already, a massive thumbs up for us. Hit the subscribe button so you can watch us every week from Monday to Thursday. As always, a massive thank you to the guys who work hard on SFR, from the admins to the stewards to the guys who turn up and drive every week, and those that come in and chat. It is appreciated by all of you, because without any of that we wouldn't have a league to race in. And if you've noticed anything, our stream goes a lot smoother than Veloci Esports did yesterday as well. So I'd say we do a better job. But thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you guys for coming into the chat at the end. Well done on your podiums, and again another congratulations to DCG, who sadly couldn't make it, but I'm sure we'll hear from him in Discord. I'm sure there'll be plenty of fallout from the race, so I'm interested in reading as to what went on, and we'll see you all tomorrow night. Senna, are you back on comms tomorrow night?
I am.
And you've got Chain Game.
In-game.
Yeah,
yes.
So our new commentary team for Tuesday nights. Senna stays in lead comms, but he's now joined by Chain Game, who did a fantastic job last week supporting Senna on the comms, and it looks like a real good team that we've got set up there. Then we'll be back again on Wednesday night for GP2, finishing up with the top guys on Thursday night, the Prem. But other than that, thank you so much for joining, guys. Have a great evening, and we'll see you on the track.